Neeraj Dewan joins us. And Neeraj, good morning. Thank you for joining us. So Neeraj, what are you focusing on? Early morning, is it gold? Is it Nifty?
Yeah, good morning. I think definitely gold has surprised everyone with the returns they've given. So I think one should still ride on and continue to hold it with the kind of scenario you have globally. And Nifty as such, it's very difficult to take a call. You've seen some bounce back from the lower levels. There's a possibility that it may extend further. But then, what the pain still is there in the mid caps, small caps, where, you even the good stocks, you're seeing sell off happening. There may not be any reason also. Beyond a point, the valuations are becoming better, attractive now. So, no one has to keep a lookout on whenever you have valuation comfort. And Nifty definitely, after this bounce back, we have to now see that whether this sustains or not. So that is a big question. And with the FI selling continuing, it becomes very difficult to take a call on where the Nifty will head, after this bounce back.
What's your view on the market, Neeraj? Do we have a bottom in place? Is it time now to start backing the truck and start loading the stocks?
Yeah, last time also we discussed that around, Nifty took a good support around 22,000 levels. That's a very important level, and we get very attractive, strong opportunities at those levels. I think with markets dipping and coming around those levels, or even mid caps across sectors are becoming attractive. So my sense is that one should start adding. One should add mid caps, also the good quality mid caps. Besides, large caps also there are pockets which are still attractive. So some stocks have moved up because everyone has been chasing large caps only. And I think mid caps is one segment where I feel that ultimately for a long-term investor, if one is holding for a couple of years, that is where you're going to make the most of the returns. So though one has to be well diversified, your portfolio, I can't just buy mid caps and keep on hoping for them to recover. Large cap space is one space there. Also, one needs to have a good chunk of the portfolio. So my sense is that one should be adding, because you saw extreme greed happening last year from September, August, September, October. Everything was running like crazy. But now it's the reverse. Things are falling even without a reason. Even valuations are attractive. Some results are also not bad in the third quarter. Still, you've seen that correction continuing in most of these stocks. So my sense is that one should be adding on this dip.
Well, Bajaj Finserv looking that, they're going to be buying out Allianz's stake in life and general insurance arms over 24,000 crore rupees. That's definitely going to be one stock which is going to be in focus. The other one, of course, is Bajaj Finance as well. Remember, Rajiv Jain's term ends on March 31st and his new role should be announced. There's a lot of speculation in the market as to whether he's going to find a new role within the group or not. But Aditya, on the charts, both for Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance?
Both these stocks should be in your portfolio. In fact, Bajaj Twins are the ones which have been outperforming big time of late in this volatile market. And in fact, I have a buy on Bajaj Finserv for our viewers today for a target of 2,000 with a stop loss at 1820 on the downside. I think it's time to look at Bajaj Finserv both from a trading perspective and if you want to add it in your portfolio for maybe medium to long term time frame, you should look at adding Bajaj Finserv, because I think stock will easily cross 2200 if you hold it for 6 months or so. Talking of Bajaj Finance, this is one stock actually which is trading at fresh 52-week high. Shows the strength in the stock. And I think so if you're still looking at entering Bajaj Finance at current levels, it's a good time to enter Bajaj Finance. Maybe with the stop loss somewhere around 8100, I think stock is poised to test levels of at least 9500 if you hold it for at least 6 months or more.
I'm looking at metals, I'm looking at NBFCs, and I think there is a trade which is there in some of the oil sensitives. Neeraj, is there a trade in any of the oil sensitives? It could be HPCL, BPCL, it could be Indigo, it could be paints, it could be chemicals.
I think one is chemical space is one where one can be stock specific. I think there are opportunities there. And second, when you talk about HPCL, the marketing companies, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, think they've also corrected a lot. There is only one possibility that there can or there should be a fuel rate cut, which may happen because of the kind of movement we've seen in crude. So that can be one factor which can give another opportunity from the oil marketing companies. So I would be more positive on the oil marketing companies and the chemical companies.
What are the top 3 purchases, Neeraj, in the last 3 months? Which are 3 stocks you've just added and you've made them 4-5% of your portfolio?
See, I've been adding certain stocks like Mazgaon Dock is one which I had added on the declines, and then Garware High Tech Films is one stock which I've been adding. Then there's another stock called Surya Roshni. I think these the results were good, and you saw some correction happening in these stocks. I feel the kind of order book that Mazgaon Dock has, and the possibility of further orders coming their way, is one which will still makes it attractive. And you saw decent correction happening in most of the defense stocks, so this also got its share of correction. Garware High Tech is also another stock where the results are very good. The capacities have come in, and the management is keeping on with the guidance and giving a decent guidance growth for the next year also. So this stock is another one which I've been adding. And Surya Roshni, why I said was because management has mentioned in Q2 that Q3 this improvement will start. And so that improvement has started. Those stocks definitely corrected even after that because of the market correction. But I feel that going ahead, capacity is going to come in, and their steel pipe division will do well. So these are the 2-3 stocks which I can mention right now. Besides the large cap, names like Britannia, ITC, these and Vedanta, these stocks also I've been adding because I feel they have a good long-term potential. Again, they are available at decent valuations.
Aditya, if one has to take a shot at a bank, which is the best bank to buy for next 15 days?
Oh, I think it's Kotak Mahindra Bank, Nikunj, because this is one stock which has been underperforming big time, and now it's showing some kind of a strength at current levels. And I think so this is one bank which will outperform in the near term. So maybe for a target of 2100, one should definitely look at going fresh long on Kotak Mahindra Bank at current levels. Place a stop somewhere around 1950, and I think so it offers an excellent risk to reward ratio as well. So for me, it's going to be a large cap private sector bank, and that will be Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Okay, Kotak clearly looking like the strongest show within the banking pack. A lot of other stocks which are going to be in focus, and a lot of positive news flow, one must say, is coming in for the entire, pharma space, and a smaller counters at that. Yesterday it was Zydus Live. There was positive news flow with regards to no Form 483 observations and a clearance coming in with nil observations from the US FDA. And this morning as well, Shilpa Medicare, one of their unit, has entered a term sheet with one of the biologics companies for immuno-oncology assets. So that's the other stock which is going to be in focus today too, although it didn't move much in trade yesterday, stuck around that 631 odd level or so. Neeraj, what's the call on pharma? Anything that you're liking, anything that you're looking at adding positions into perhaps?
Actually, pharma also been very selective, though, I'd like certain stocks like DV's Lab, and there's another small company, Senores, which got listed some time back. I think the business that they are in, APIs and related businesses, which should do well for them. So though there's short-term, a possibility of some tariff impact being happening on some of the pharma companies, which is still not very clear. So that's why, I'm a little wary of investing in pharma in a large way right now. And, a lot of these stocks had moved also earlier. So I think still, if one has to keep a positive view, then I think API stocks like DVs and Senores can be ones which can be looked at.
Fair point. If markets come back, Kunal, will Zomato, PB Fintech, Paytm, all that, will that also come back?
Yeah, they'll come back, Nikunj, and there's a phase in which these stocks generally tend to come back. So initially it's large caps, confidence builds up, then the market sentiment starts to improve, then the risk appetite comes back, and that's where you see the mid caps and maybe the beleaguered small caps, they start to flourish and see a strong price action. So I believe that we are still not passed into that phase. We are still into that phase where the markets are building those blocks in terms of confidence. Maybe another few days, few weeks, where the markets gain up higher. Once we cross psychological levels, like 22,500 has been a psychological barrier for the index. If we scale past to the next barrier, which is 23,000 mark, that's where I would believe that the confidence would start to improve. That's where you would start to see a blend of short covering as well as high risk appetite coming back.
Interesting. Chandan, are you, I beg your pardon, Aditya is still with us. Aditya, are you seeing that across the board move within the large caps? Other than banks, what's looking strong to you?
Aisha, I think a clutch of these large cap stocks are looking good. To name few, I think sectorally, metals is one sector, I think so, which should be right at the focus of all the traders community, because metal, I think, has been long overdue for an up move. Names like Tata Steel, names like JSW Steel, or you can add a Hindalco to it as well. I think all these stocks are due for a good short covering rally or maybe a fresh build-up as well. If we talk about Hindalco in particular, I think so stock is, after a decent up move, stock went into a consolidation. It's poised to test levels of 740 on the upside. Talk about JSW Steel. I think that is also good to go to levels of 1060. Apart from that, I think a lot of the NBFC stocks should come back in the reckoning and then should see good up move. We've already spoken about Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv. I think you can look at a Cholamandalam Finance as well. That is also looking interesting to me. And if you add a couple of FMCG names, I think those are also looking interesting. Names like ITC and Britannia, both of them are looking interesting. So I think it's a entire pack of large cap stocks which are participating. And I think going ahead, you will see a lot of these continue to participate going ahead as well.
Okay. Power is where I think things could be interesting. More and more power demand in India now is getting completely repositioned in terms of the preference towards air conditioners, I think is increasing. Capex is coming back, that means power demand should start picking up. Data center, guys, we don't realize it that how much power data centers will now be consuming. If REC yesterday told us that they're looking at 20% disbursement growth, that means power sectors, capacity, power sector capacity creation, at least in utilities, will start moving higher. Hot summer means more power demand. Very simple. More power demand means more uptake in power prices, and especially companies which have a higher owners coming from merchant power, they will do well. That could be a Tata Power and that could be an Adani Power. NTPC is not such a large, they don't have such a large presence in merchant power because it's a government company, they hardly trade, but they have a large presence in the entire PPS space, so to speak. Neeraj, anything interesting in the power space, utility, transmission, ancillary, wires?
Yeah, I agree with you that power space is one space where demand definitely will go up, and the price action in most of the stocks had not been very good in the last almost I think 9 months now. All these stocks have corrected, so this space is one space where I feel that a pickup should start. So I'm looking at even in the renewable energy space, there are companies like JSW Energy, which is coming out with a lot of capacity there. There's a government company called GIPCL, which capacity is going to come in the next 1 year, 1.5 years. Then Tata Power is another one which has corrected, I think, had been consolidating, which can give a good return from these levels if one is investing for 1.5 years. So I will go more for these companies, not for wires and cables, because there is some disruption which is going to come their way in a couple of years. Let's see when. But then I'll go more with this renewable energy and companies like Tata Power, which I think look interesting after the correction that they've seen.
Okay, Neeraj, what do you want to focus on? Trent, Titan, gold, diamond?
This kind of a market. Okay, I think we should definitely look at our mid-cap space and where you get opportunities, which can be diamonds for you over the medium to long term. Trend definitely, the kind of valuation it is trading even after the correction is expensive. It's not a cheap stock. If one needs to invest in Trend, one has to be there with the company for 4 or 5 years to give certain decent return. Like you rightly mentioned, during COVID you got a brilliant opportunity, but then it went up like crazy, and still it is available at almost 1,80,000, 90,000 kind of a market cap, which is and at a very high valuation of 80, 90 times. So that's why I think the stock is not able to really move up right now because it's still expensive. So, but I think once market frenzy starts, when stocks are doing well, then again people will look at any and all opportunities. Even Trent will do well. So I think one needs to now focus more on stocks where valuation comfort is. I think that is what is more important right now, rather than buying stocks and valuation.
Right, okay. Interesting. That's both on Titan as well as Trent. Aditya, what's your reading on the charts for Trent? Would you say that a near-term bottom at least could be in store for us? Is the selling done?
I think so, Aisha. In fact, if I flip the chart to a monthly time frame and I plot a 14-period RSI, it's very interesting to note that RSI has come to a level where it had last tested the lows of 2020 that Nikunj was talking about right now. And we had a minor decline in 2023 as well in trend. So both the times RSI actually took support at somewhere around those 50 mark, and from there it's turned around. Right now it's exactly at those levels, and from there it's showing some kind of a recovery. So I would stick my neck out and maybe buy the stock in tranches. Go ahead and buy 50-60% at current levels. Place a stop somewhere around 4,700 to about 4,500 on the downside, and look for a target of 6,000 to about 6,500 on the upside. And if you actually see the stock crossing levels of 5,300, I would like to add on to the existing position and buy 100% and look for a target of at least 6,500 to about 7,000. I think it's time to look at trend and add it in your portfolio. Hold on to it. I think it will give you good returns.
So let's wait and watch and see how the rupee actually opens up for trade. But Neeraj, I believe Aditya, I just wanted to take your take coming in on the FMCG space in particular, given the fact that we were expecting this one actually to outperform, but that's not the way how it transpires, and in fact significantly underperformed. What's your take coming in on the FMCG space?
Hi, Cheryl. So I think it's a good time to actually latch on to some of these FMCG names. A couple of them do stand out for me because after the correction, they offer an excellent risk to reward. The first on my radar is an ITC. It's come to good support levels at current levels, offer an excellent risk to reward. I wouldn't shy away from taking a long in ITC for a target of 430 to about 440 on the upside. Place a stop loss somewhere around 395 on the downside. HUL and Britannia, the other two stocks also look interesting to me. So Britannia too, after recent correction, I think can be bought for a 4 to 5% upside on the upside. And in Hindustan Unilever, I think so that too has come to a good support level of 2,100, can be bought for a target of 2,500. So I think these large cap FMCG names should be on your radar. If market sees a further 300, 200 point upside from here on, I think FMCG will participate in the rally.
Right, okay. Neeraj, good to have you on the show. We'll let you go on that note. The pre-open rates clearly indicating a smart start for us this morning, but let's get in some mid-cap strategies as well going on that note. Aditya, you go first. What's on your mid-cap list?
So I've got a Crompton as a buy recommendation for viewers. I think this is one stock which is clearly broken out from a downward sloping channel. Can be bought at current levels for a target of 380 on the upside. Place a stop loss somewhere around 340 on the downside.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.